Thank you for this time that we can come together to serve the Cherokee people. We thank you for all the blessings that you've given to the Cherokee Nation. And we thank you for the honor of serving the Cherokee people. So we ask that you be with their servicemen and keep them safe and bring them back home. So we ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Actually, you do roll call.
Yes, sir.
On it.
Dave Walkinston.
On it.
Ron Garvin.
Kiki.
Bill England.
Honey.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Joe Bird.
On it.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Frankie Hargis. Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Vic Way.
Honey.
Curtis Snell. Denise Taylor. Here. David Thornton.
Yeah.
Victoria Vesquez.
Honey.
Brian Warren.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
All right, thanks, Shelley. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June 19th. So moved. Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Down the reports, we got the Miss Strawberry Queen, Miss Diane Kelly.
I don't know about that. I picked my share of strawberries.
Hey, you're number one in my heart, Diane.
He's one.
Jim, did you hear that? What do you want?
All of it.
All the strawberries that you can get.
Well, good afternoon. I just want to report that we have our youth intern leadership program out in North Carolina. George, Stephanie, and Jeff are chaperoning them this week. They left last Friday. They'll return this Friday. And the last I heard, everything was going good. It's very hot, but everybody's having a very enjoyable time, and they're learning a lot about our homeland and our culture. So I think they're going to have a lot of good things and a lot of good memories when they come back. Job Corps is still among the top 5 in the region, holding its own. We've got to get our inventory up according to the region. So all of our recruiters are out recruiting 5 days a week, and we're going to get that inventory up. They want at least 30 folders in that inventory. That's based on whether or not you have an incident that occurs on center where you may have to send 4 or 5 kids home. They want to make sure that we have a good inventory. So that's what our recruiters are trying to do. Jay and I will be in Washington, D.C. next week. We have a mandatory meeting. Department of Labor is calling all the Job Corps in. The new ETA, I guess with our new Secretary of Labor, they're wanting to make sure that we have all of our T's crossed and all of our I's dotted. So they haven't had a meeting in probably about 3 to 4 years. So they've called us into D.C., so we think we're going to hear some good things, we hope, from the new administration. Career Services will be in attendance at the quarterly intertribal this week. We've got 3 directors that are out, and then we've got a skeleton crew. Several of those other people are out this week as well. Summer Youth Awards Luncheon and our intern banquet is at the end of this month, and Hunter will be sending out invitations if you'd like to come over and have lunch and meet some of the parents of some of the interns, or come over. They'll be giving out awards for the work sites, job sites, and the students who achieved the most this summer. Jeff wanted me to report that overall he had around 725 summer youth applications. That's the most that we've had in several years. Wow. And they went through 8 weeks instead of 6 weeks. So we're all excited about that. We also want to remind you that the Cherokee Holiday Parade is coming up September the 2nd. You've got about a month and a half to get your
Act together.
Applications in. Our department is heading up the parade again, so we want to make sure that if you've got people in your district that you want to get in that parade, we'll make sure they get in there. Also, I spoke with Speaker Byrd, and we're getting ready for NCAI, so we'll have the resolution to come before you in the August meeting so that we'll have it before October, so that we're not at the last minute asking you for a special meeting.
And he's running for vice president again.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yes.
Yes. Where is it this time?
It's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, however you say it. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Y'all have any questions?
Diane, you're meeting with Secretary of Labor
Oh, no. I did not say that we were. We don't know. Normally, when we go into DC for these Department of Labor Job Corps meetings, we never know who we're meeting with.
Oh, okay.
We could be.
All
We
right,
could
so-
be meeting with the new Employment and Training Administration Director, who is Ivanka
Gotcha.
Trump. We don't know.
Okay. Well,
Just don't know.
I guess my
One year,
question-
we had Colin Powell that met with us, and we didn't know. So
Oh,
they
wow.
don't tell us it's just a mandatory meeting. We have to show up.
So you better be at your best.
Yes.
So do you foresee any of the, I guess the policies changing with new Secretary of Labor? Like, do you see any of that changing, or do you think everything's going to stay the same?
I think one of the things that they're rolling out is apprenticeship. For a lot of the classes that the students are taking, they want to make sure that they are pre-apprenticeship approved when they complete the training, so that they can go on and get apprenticeship certification. And also, they want to make sure that there is safety on the centers. They are asking us to get cameras in the dorms and cameras out in the front when people are coming in and that they're checked in. And then when the students come back from their weekend passes, we are going to be required to go through their suitcases and everything so that they're not bringing contraband on the center.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that's coming down the pipe that we're going to be mandated to do.
How many of our subjects up the talking leaves, I guess they end up getting a certificate of some sort?
I would say 75% of the students who come in complete a training component, or they obtain their high school diploma or their GED. We are very fortunate here in the state of Oklahoma. All three of the Job Corps centers are mandated by the state of Oklahoma, and this was done when Sandy Garrett was the superintendent of education. We were allowed to issue high school diplomas, but we had to have certified teachers on that campus for all three campuses. So we had to have certain credentials. So all of the teachers over there are certified, and then the person who's over academics is certified to be a principal as well.
Okay.
So we do issue high school diplomas.
And so did the job fair go pretty good the other day up there at Talking Leaves?
It went okay. It wasn't outstanding, but we did get some good applicants from what I understand. And that was what we were trying to achieve, because we are hurting in the dorms, we're hurting as substitute teachers, and we needed some more safety people there on the center.
That's unfortunate. Our HR can't do more on trying to recruit people for those positions.
Well, this is a bad time of the year. I don't fault our HR department.
Yeah.
In the summer months, it's very hard to recruit students for Job Corps, and it's very hard to recruit employees for some of those positions. August and September, they'll be coming out of the woodwork,
Okay.
because the summer's over with and they're ready to go back to work.
Gotcha.
So we'll see them then.
Okay.
I do have one other thing. Daryl Legg asked me to report. This past year, in our reentry program, you all don't know a whole lot about it. We've had over 75 people that have come through that we've assisted in the reentry program. And most of the jobs that we got these people were construction type jobs, blue collar type jobs. And the average wage for some of these people was $15, $16, up to $20 an hour. And they're welders, roofers, machinists, drywall, mechanics, sandblasters, QA, and electrical. And Daryl just wanted me to give y'all kind of a highlight that it is working, and we are covering the 14 counties. And sometimes it is most difficult when you got one way up north and one way down south. But we've got staff that are working it, and they're doing a good job.
He's trying out for Gunsmoke. Hey, yes, Councilwoman Taylor.
Who's the parade contact?
Deborah Lack.
I said Councilwoman Taylor. Councilman Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there a job fair in Norwood County this week or the next week?
There is a job fair in South Coffeyville this week for the Star Pipe.
How much
And-
do those pay?
Oh, there is a list, and they vary, but I can have Hunter send you that. He's probably listening to this right now, so he can send it to you. Yeah, he can send it to Gail, and she can get it out to all of you. We also have one in Veneta this week, and it's at High Pro. And I want to thank Councilwoman Vasquez. She set up a meeting with the mayor up there at Veneta, and we went over to the business and met with them, and also met with St. Francis
Hospital.
Actually, both of those are Victoria's, but I'm stealing all I can.
Are ya? That's okay. We'll let you. We'll let you.
Just try. It's okay if you try.
Because it's some of your constituents that's gonna come over and apply for those jobs, so hey, the more the merrier.
I've had some calls about especially South Florida.
Yes, yes. Anything you can do to help, greatly appreciate it.
Councilman Warner?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Back to the reentry. I know a lot of us know exactly what it is, but I'll just say that I talked to Darrell Legg on a lot of occasions about what he does and everything. And I mean, he truly is a champion of change. I mean, he's been recognized nationwide, and I think he's to be commended, you know, and under your guidance and everything, he's done good. Who does he get to use for staffing on stuff like that, Diane?
He uses everybody.
Right.
Yes, he
There's
uses-
nobody like dedicated to that.
Well,
Right.
there is one counselor in particular that we give a lot of the clients to, and then we've got another person that's training under them.
Right.
And then we've got one that we just added up in the Claremore area that's
Okay.
working the northern area.
Okay.
So we do have female, we do have some males.
Right. Well, then we know what type of incarceration rates we have, and those people are coming out. And I mean, I think it's important that we take a look at that, because that's one of the things of retention of somebody being institutionalized like that, to keep that is to get those jobs. And I mean, I know firsthand of several good success stories and stuff, so I thank you guys for doing what you do and everything. And I look to continue that, and I hope everybody's on board. Make that bigger and better.
I think if you look back in history, we were already serving that clientele.
Yes,
We just
ma'am.
did not have them definition.
Yeah, there you go.
And we didn't
Right.
have anyone specialized that was
Right.
working with them.
Well, thank you, Diane. I appreciate you. Tell Darrell thank you.
Well, if you can thank
Thank you, Mr.
Darrell.
Chairman.
He's
Yes,
very
sir.
passionate
Thank you,
about
Councilman Warner. Councilman Crittenden?
Yeah, I was going to ask you on the Star Company,
Mm-hmm.
are they going to be coming a little closer anytime soon, the Star Pipe?
it. Star Pipe.
Let's
That
see.
is that's up in South Coffeyville. That's the name of the company.
Okay, now where are we on the pipelining?
You're talking about the pipeline?
Yes.
That's training. We can make referrals to the Union Hall right now. Anybody that wants to go, we're making referrals up there to the Union Hall.
Just contact your office.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You can
Thank you.
contact any of our
Thank
offices.
you, Councilman Crittenden. Any other questions for Ms. Diane Kelly? I don't see no takers. Good job. All
Thank you.
right. Yeah.
Y'all have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you too, Ms. Kelly. Next, down to our Executive Director's Report, we got Mr. Ron Etheridge and his lovely assistant, Ms. Jennifer Pigeon.
Good afternoon. Want to mention, it's not your last day, but you outgoing council members, want to just let you know how much education has appreciated you. And, you know, you've allowed me to come in and feel at ease. I told you from the start, practically 2 years ago, that it's the biggest board or council that I've ever been a part of, and it's kind of intimidating sometimes, but you made it where it's easy. You know, I know you have a job, all you council members. You have constituents out there that you're trying to accommodate, and you got to give an answer to. And so, you know, you've worked with us. Sometimes the answer that we have provided has not been what you wanted to hear, but you worked with us. And I just want to tell you, thank you for your service and the job that you've done. Right now, we're getting ready for next year. Got to speak to one of Vernon's groups up there last week, early childhood, and kind of asked them what a mulligan was, if any of them knew what a mulligan was. And you know, it was mostly ladies. And surprisingly, 3 of the ladies raised their hand. You know, basically it's a start over. I mean, you had a bad shot in golf, and so you're going to lay one down and hit you another one. And, you know, that's one thing we get to do sometimes in education. We get a start over. We end when the year ends, and we get a fresh start the next time around. And so that's what we're preparing for in most cases. So anyway, I don't really have anything. Jennifer may have something. You may have questions for us. I'll just turn it over to her, and if she doesn't have anything, you got questions for us, feel free.
Speaker Byrd.
I want to let you guys know I've had a handful of inquiries about turning in their applications late, scholarships. And I hate to tell people that answer, but we have a deadline. And so I've had to give the answer, and they say, well, who's in charge in the education department? And I'll say, well, you can talk to Ron Etheridge, and I did put your name out there, and I said, and Jennifer, but they abide by the policies that we set here on the council and committee, so, we have to stand by that. But I just wanted to let you know, if you get calls, and it'll be people that I know, so I just stood by our policies the best I could do.
I know you do, and I know you do, and we appreciate your support. And when you have to refer them on to us, we understand that. And because, in some cases, they're not going to stop with you. They want to go to whomever. And in some cases, they don't stop with us. And so, thank you for your support there. Other questions?
Councilman Crittenden?
Just a quick comment that I think individual basis situations that I have, I appreciate you always meeting those. It's pretty quick, so you guys done me right so far. I appreciate it.
We try to do that. We know it's important, I can assure you.
Councilman Buzzard?
I had a couple of questions, I guess. Several years ago, Ron and Jennifer, we had taken 5% out of the motor fuel tanks and put it in for competitive grants for schools. And understand, while I was off the council, that was changed to where it goes to school counseling. And if I remember right, Gloria Sly was in charge of that. Are you aware of those monies? It's a $300,000 or $400,000 a year.
Right.
Is she still doing that? That money, is that still going to that area?
Yes. Now last year, and to be quite honest, sometimes it takes a while to figure things out, and we decided what we would do, and that money from last year is appropriated and will be to all of our schools within the 14 county area, and it will go out once schools get started. So the balance of that. Now, we still have funds for this year that we're looking at, and yes, she plays a part of that, and rather than put it all in one area, so to speak, we use it in various areas that will help the schools, and so. She doesn't necessarily, it goes through our office as well, before we approve it or disapprove it and decide we need to use it elsewhere. But regarding last year's funds, it's going out evenly. It's going to be evenly dispersed among the 114 schools, or 108 schools.
The reason I bring this up, I just want the other councils to remember, some of them don't remember what happened. I sponsored legislation 6 or 7 years ago to take 5% off of the car tags, the motor fuel tax, and put it in a special fund and let all the schools in the 14 county jurisdiction compete for those funds. What they could use it for was cultural activities. They could build a walking trail, they could build an outside classroom, anything to do with culture for those school systems. But anyway, it got changed to where that 5%, which comes to $300,000 to $400,000 in education, and I guess that's when they put it into school counseling, is how I understood it. And Gloria was administering those funds at that time. And what I take is she was going to these different schools and giving education about programs, how I take it. But anyway, it's a good program, yes. But what I liked about it before, it was a competitive grant. Some schools built walking trails, some schools built outside classrooms and stuff like that. But I'm just wondering where the money was going to. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up today is Superintendent Sequoia brought up the fact last meeting about career tech. And I talked to him after the meeting, and I thought that was a really interesting program. So when he comes back up, I want to ask you to talk a little bit more about that. I didn't know about it, but what it is a program where these schools have the opportunity to start guiding those kids to go to career tech. Because, you know, a lot of our kids aren't going to go to college, they're going to go for a technical school. Anyway, when he comes up, I'll ask him to expand on it more. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up to make sure that what we were doing with those dollars. Because there was several $100,000 every year that goes to it. And really make sure that we're getting the bang for our buck. If you're giving it to the schools, Lord, they need it, so I guess it's getting to be good use.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hey,
Okay.
Councilman Buzzard, I remember, I don't think you was on the council, but we was down there at Vernus for Thanksgiving. I remember we passed that legislation to put those funds into the later definition TOS, techniques of successful superintendents. And you know, we can always pull that resolution back out and revamp it. You just have to get with Shelley and get that piece of resolution. I'm fine with this as long as it's not going to salaries, as long as it's going towards professional development into the schools and services for these students. But if it's tied up in salaries, I don't think that was never the intent of this 5%. So whether it be competitive scholarships or professional development, we need to take another look at that. So.
Okay, and I'm just, I guess my question is, Chairman, and to Ron, how successful is the TOS program going? Because I know my superintendent in my district, I don't know if he ever attended one.
Yeah. Well, we do it on all levels.
Yeah.
We do it on the teaching level, we do it on the administration level.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And we try to have a couple of meetings throughout the year for superintendents. One that we put the emphasis up north, the other we put the emphasis to the south. And we bring them in. Timing is always a thing that's tough to figure out, when we can get them there. We provide a good program for them when we do. We try to get them, we try to get our state senators and representatives to come in and to kind of let them know how the bills are going and so forth. We try to get the superintendent of public instruction there, those kind of people there, so they can kind of tell them. Anyone that responsible, I mean, we're changing over on the state level as far as the head of the Indian Education Director, that's changing over. But we try to get those people present. Of course, we get them at intertribal, as well. And then for the teachers, the big thing is in the summer. And, we had our TOS this summer here at Northeastern and spend $70,000-$80,000, with that. I mean, and it's a good thing. And there's some grants that are given out at that point in time, competitive grants, that the teachers have to write on and so forth for STEM programs. And and then we have speakers come in. It's a real good seminar, real good 2-day seminar.
Well, I didn't know that particular money where those run to, but those are good programs you're talking about. I did see the information that you put out on them, so no, that's good.
Yeah, okay, and
I
that's,
guess the reason I bring the career tech up is I was wondering if whoever was going to the schools was emphasizing career tech was out there.
right.
I don't know that. Mr. Qualls can give us some information on that when he comes to the report.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you,
All right,
sir.
thank you, Councilman Buzzard. Councilman Anglin?
Yeah, thank you. And I want to echo what Councilman Crittenden said earlier. We really lean on you guys, and we do pass a lot of people your way because they don't like what we're saying. And so the end result is they're always happy, because they hear it from you guys, knowing that you guys are administering these programs and not us. So I want to personally thank you too, because y'all been very good about it. The other part is the money, the 5%. Does that go to every school in the 14 counties, or is it, are you cherry picking, selecting different schools? I mean, because I've never heard of that up in our area.
Well, this last year is the first year that we're doing, and it's going out. This will be the first time, really. I mean, the money has kind of been spent in other ways up until that point. And it will go to all 108 schools that are part of the 14-county area.
Okay, because I have a lot of schools that will call me and ask me if we have any cultural dollars to help them do a culture day or a week or whatever in their schools. And we usually try to scrap up some community assistance money for them, you know, but it's never really enough. So anyway, I just want to know, will we be alerted in any way when that does go out?
Yes, I'm sure you will. Yeah, I mean, because they want to make you a part of that, so you're aware of it. I mean, if there's pictures taken at that point in time, I mean, they want to make sure you're aware of it, so you will be. You will, it'll be this fall whenever school gets ready to start.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that, and I'm glad you responded that way, because there was a big donation from CMD in my district just a couple of weeks ago. I never knew anything about it. And it's a program that I did give them money to every year. And CMD did a contribution. So, and the council person didn't even know in the district. That was truly in my area, so thank you all. That's all I have to say.
I thank you, Councilman England. Councilman Crittenden?
You guys, the educational talent search, now that was a Cherokee Nation program a few years ago. Do you remember that? Educational talent search. There was what I believed is someone from Cherokee Nation came over, helped seventh graders, and just kind of guided them all the way through high school. Anybody familiar with that that's been in the school system? They called it the talent search.
American Indian Resource Center.
American Indian Resource Center.
Okay. Yeah.
We work with them.
Oh, you do? Okay. Now, I hadn't seen it lately. I didn't do much research, but is there something similar to that still goes on?
I think they did lose some of their funding, but, yeah, I think they're still working in your area, in okay, and, yeah, it's Marcella Morrison.
That's the girl. But, you know, I guess they don't call it that anymore, do they? Educational talent search?
We do, yeah, we're just trying to do the ACT prep together, and
Do you mind getting me that contact and some information? Thank you. Also, Bell School came to me, and I went to their cultural day. And how do they get back to have the camp there? They said they had it at one point.
Camp Cherokee?
Yep. How would that work?
Well, we just need to talk to Mark, who's over that, and just to see if, kind of do a feasibility study and find out the numbers that we could bring in there.
I think it would be it was a big turnout, just their cultural day, you know, they came out and the community and, you know, and everything, but I'd like to have information on how they would need to reapply to get that, or
Look at it.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
thank you, Councilman
I
Crittenden.
wasn't talking about American Idol either on talent search. Anybody heard of that?
That's what we're sitting here, that's what me and Joe is.
American Got Talent?
Yeah. I think they went to America's
It's
Got
real,
Talent.
It's a real deal, isn't it?
I
Maybe I was dreaming.
didn't think you could hear us, Councilman.
You good?
All you listeners at home, I know you've heard about the talent search that used to come around to the schools.
Any other questions? Saying none, good report.
Verna's sick today,
Hey,
and that's rare. She's always here.
dadgummit.
But if you have any questions in regard to Verna, probably more than likely have to write them down and get back with you. But we'll try to answer them if you have it.
Ask her what a mulligan is.
Okay, she knows now. She knows
Yes,
that.
Councilman Buzzard?
I just want to bring it up, Ron, and you might pass it on to Verna. This is at the Head Start Center in Jay. I understand they don't take 3-year-old kids up there. They go, I guess, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, then they skip 3-year-old, then they come back, well, that 4-year-old, I guess they go to pre-K. I don't know, it seemed like you may have responded to me at one time. I'd like to know why we don't do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll find out.
All right, good report, Ron. Jennifer, thank you. You guys have a good afternoon. All right, next, going down to Sequoia High School, Superintendent Leroy Qualls. He's a top 50 high school player in the United States. Former All-Stater.
Are you talking basketball or dodgeball?
Tug of war.
Good to see everyone. Good afternoon.
Softball.
And I too would like to thank our retiring council people, as well as all of you, but you've done a special job for a special service to the people and for the sport at Sequoia High School. So if I don't ever get the opportunity, I just want to say thank you for that. This week, the first thing I noticed was the date was wrong on the report that was sent out for me. It's July the 10th report. But we've got a lot of people in training. It's kind of a down period for the school except for the faculty and staff. We've got teachers taking training this week for serving special needs students in their classrooms. I'm talking about not just the department but across the board. Our dorm staff has 2 trainings coming up. One of them's a BIE training, and it's going to be possibly new regulations coming down with waivers as far as workers in a dorm. It's a youth-sensitive area. We start out at $9 an hour for our dorm staff, and in the old regs, they've got you must have 32 hours of college, I believe, either 30 or 32. And youth-sensitive area. Well, we all know those people are going to stay in college. They're not going to be working in a dorm. So this was brought up at our intertribal at River Spirit, I believe. We had a meeting, and Clint Bowers, I believe, is the gentleman from D.C., is trying to go over those regs and maybe change those. And at the same time, I've got dorm staff going August the 1st to Oklahoma City to take training, and we'll do a train-the-trainer type thing. In other words, if we can do that waiver in lieu of the 30 hours of college credit, we've got a pretty good dorm staff right now, and I'd sure hate for something to happen to that. Pretty much fully staffed this year for the first time since I've been at Sequoia. And we've had resignations I was going to brag about retention, but we had a medical situation come up with one of our cafeteria workers, and she's going to have to resign. So we've got to hire there. And at the immersion, we've got several openings that's come up that we're going to have to fill. And we're currently trying to fill the void at the high school and trying to make do with what we have and be prepared when those kiddos come back. We're expecting around 391. I did this report a week or 2 ago. That'll go up or down. Dorm and cafeteria staff both report back to work July 24th. Teachers report August the 3rd. They have 2 days of professional training that first week. Students report on the 7th. Freshmen will be in BIE testing that entire week. Now, we did it last year. We have BIE testing the first week of school and also at the end of school in May to kind of measure the gain that we get from our student learning. And excited to say that immersion and high school will be out for August the 14th because we're hosting the inauguration there. And congratulations on those that have got in and those we expect maybe to be there on the 14th. Immersion School will have an open house on August the 10th to greet the parents and patrons. Their school starts August the 15th. They had a good summer program. They had averaged between 50 and 80 students daily, and their summer program, which was on a grant and not the Gen Fund, ended on June the 30th. And I would say, and I've mentioned before, they had some good cultural activities as well as some classroom refreshment
in retaining what they've learned in the past year. In the world of athletics, softball opens up August the 7th at Catoosa. Volleyball August the 10th at home against Salina. Football with a scrimmage August the 18th against Salisaw at home here at our place. They open up, their first game will be September 1st against Noah. And this has probably been the best group of returning players for our football team. So pretty excited about that in this upcoming season. And cross country opens up at Pryor on August the 26th. I think that pretty much concludes my report. I did see a picture in the paper the other day of Sequoia's Cabin dedication or rededication. I lived less than a mile from Sequoia's Cabin. I went to Central Schools when I was in the first grade. So that was good to see that from back home. And John Archer Jones's store was just on the corner past Sequoia's Cabin, about 300 yards. And I would barefoot it down there as much as I could to get an ice cream and barefoot it back home. I remember because the pavement was so hot, as you can imagine. It made me faster though.
Speaker Byrd.
Hey, what are the dates on the All-State? I know we've got some participants in our area here.
Basketball will be on Thursday night.
This Thursday?
Off the top of my head, that's going to be somewhere around the 28th.
Okay.
24th will be volleyball.
Okay.
That's on Monday.
When you get those dates, would you share those with Gail and she can share them with the ones that might want to see those?
Sure will.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other questions for Mr. Qualls? Yes, Councilman Buzzard.
Just a couple of questions. Leroy, on our immersion school openings, you said you had several openings. Were those people that left, were the people that
Yes.
left there?
Yes.
Were they,
We've had 2 leave the state.
oh, they left the state?
Right.
Oh, okay, so they took jobs
Right.
some other place, and they went through our class, or education system at NSU to get certified as
Mm,
a, speaking immersion teacher.
well, actually, they're, I'm talking the 8th grade on one,
Okay.
so they wasn't in the full immersion program.
Okay.
And the other was a counselor and not a teacher.
Counselor, teacher. Okay. And then the other question is, I just want you to speak real briefly about career tech. I talked to you the other day about that after our committee meeting, and I found it quite interesting, and I'm not so sure. But just tell us what it is.
Well, I don't know much more than what I explained that day.
Well, I thought you explained quite a bit to me.
Well, I did, and it's been a while since I've been in that part
Yeah.
of the educational piece, but I think it's still the same. Where as a kid is going to career tech when they're in high school, let's say they're a senior, and let's say they don't finish their career tech to get certified, they can come back that 13th year free and finish that. If they should drop out for any reason, then they would have to pay as an adult to finish. I just thought that, I stumbled into that accidentally, trying to help a kid out at Tahlequah. I was a student advocate and a mentor for kids, and one kid I kind of helped talk into staying in school, not dropping out.
And so this is available at any high school
Should be,
throughout?
should be. And see, I worked at Tahlequah High School, and I didn't know that until I got to helping this kid out.
Okay. Well, I just wanted Leroy to talk about it because I found it interesting, because I didn't know about it, so.
I didn't either, and I've been in education over 30 years.
I guess what you're saying, if you got a kid that's a sophomore or junior, and he drops out, then he can come back and go through the school system and get that career tech or get the vocation that
If
he.
he's in school and he makes the grade and has the credit requirements to go into VOTEC, then he would be engaged until he finished, even if it took a year after high school.
The reason I want to bring that up is make sure that some of our counselors that goes throughout the 14 counties are aware of this, and hopefully they can check into it a little bit more and make sure it's explained.
If they don't know, they can call and ask.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Any other questions? Good report, Mr. Qualls.
Thank you, and thank you all. Have a good day.
Next, we got Cherokee Nation Foundation, Ms. Janice Randall.
She's a good.
I wanted to add, while Diane's here, because we get a lot of calls about the VOTEC, that if they graduate and they're not going on to college, then we refer them to her program and you pay for VOTEC.
Yeah, but they have to be juniors and seniors to enroll in any of our VOTECs in the state of Oklahoma. And there's VOTEC coverage throughout the whole state. So if you're a junior or senior, you can enroll and go you can go in the afternoon or in the morning for half a day while you're still in high school, and you could actually graduate with a certification as opposed to taking classes at university or any colleges. And if you start your senior year, you could actually go as an adult for that semester after you graduate.
Thanks, Diane. Hey, Janice,
Hey,
is there a cap on the matching dollars on the endowment fund?
Patsy, one of my board members, insisted that we agreed on $100,000, but it's not in any of our documentation, she said, so she has finally conceded that we didn't have a cap.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Thanks, Janice.
It was her deal with the board, and
Okay. It's good to know.
so, yeah, we're already almost to our 100,000 now, so that is good. Okay, I wanted to show you, we're getting ready Saturday to leave for our Cherokee College Preparatory Institute. This year it's going to be held in Poto at Carl Albert. We have about 30 students going. And so on the second sheet, I wanted to show you the years 2014 through 16. We're trying to track the students that have been to our camp. And I just put their first name because of confidentiality. But anyway, and you can see the districts they came from and where they're attending college and where they attended high school. Just so you can see how many people from your, just since you guys have been on the council, I know that you have spread the word and it's so much larger than it used to be, and I really, and the students really appreciate, and the parents, because I get that all the time, that they had no idea about it before. And so people are very thankful. And the colleges, as you can see on the report, the colleges that we're having come next week are from all over, and they are there to recruit the best and the brightest of the Cherokee students. And we are also having the FAFSA people come and help the students, and we work. You'll have a counselor, and they will only have 3 to 5 students in their group, and they will go through college admissions, native life on campus, personal strength, how to find scholarships, and financial literacy. And we also, at night, we try to do some culture. We do marbles and stickball, and that's part of the requirement also, especially on our Cherokee Scholars, which, as you can see over here, Cherokee Scholars was started before I took the job, and they applied in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. And so they're just now coming to graduate and claim that money. And this year we are going to pay out $84,000. And so it's about, next year we're going to pay out $75,000 a semester. And so by the time we pay it out, which is 2021, we will have given out $1 million. So that is a lot of money, but they have to maintain that they're on the college career path, that they have a 3.0, and they have to accept the scholarship, get everything in a timely fashion. And so that's what we've been working on this summer, is our camps. Last month's camp was the ACT camp. It was held at Northeastern. It was full with a waiting list, but we worked them all in. Next year, both camps are going to be at Northeastern. So if you want to start telling the students in your communities, and as we will be going to the community meetings, I'll be passing out that information also. Our scholarships will open November 1st. We're already having people call. And they will close January 31st. And then we will read the scholarships and have the winners by the first week in April.
All right. Any questions from Ms. Randall? This is a good report. There's a lot of at-large folks in Jackson, Wanda's district.
Yeah, more than ever before. Yeah, I've been having to, when I leave the office, dial my office phone to my cell phone because they're in all different, time zones and when they call, but there is a lot of interest.
Yeah. Well, so the camp starts tomorrow or
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. It's at Carl Albert.
Is that Carl Albert? Brian, did you get us any share rod?
Brian, you can be the keynote up there, the MC.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, I'm glad we were able to provide that service. So, any other questions? Seeing none, good report, Ms. Janice.
Okay, and I want to thank the ones that are leaving. I've had a good time working with you, and you'll be missed.
All right. Thank you, Janice. So, there's no old or new business announcements. I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second, all in favor, say aye. All right.